Now, in the book, you also made the assertion that the soft money and the hard money, they're supposed to be separate, but that they're really interchangeable as far as the RNC is concerned.
Well, I mean, money's fungible, you know, I mean, it is what it is, it's all currency. The federal money is money that is regulated by the Federal Election Commission and, you know, for instance, the campaign-fine-gold law. So I guess your question is, yeah, you can take campaign funds and you can, now this is not the case anymore.
Right.
But then you would have hard money accounts or federal accounts and non-federal accounts. Any money raised, and non-federal meaning could be corporate money. For instance, a corporation then couldn't give money to a federal candidate. It has to come from individuals or PACs. And so you might raise $1 million in one check from a corporation. That would be non-federal money or soft money. But you could take that money and you could trade that money. You could say, well, you know, I want to sell X amount of soft dollars for X amount of hard dollars. So there might be actually a currency. You know, hard money is always a more valuable commodity, back then, because it's harder to raise because the increments are lower.
Right.
$1,000, $2,000, that type of thing, where you could raise large chunks of money, and that's regulated by the state. Say one state, you know, has lots of federal dollars, but they don't have lots of federal dollars, but not a lot of corporate dollars.
Right.
And they may need more corporate dollars because, say, they have more local elections, more state elections. So they might go on the market and say, look, I'll sell my hard money for soft money because I need more soft money because I have more non-federal candidates on the ballot. So in that way, sure, it's like currency trading, you know, yen for dollars or whatever it might be. It's the same concept.
But nowadays, do you see that happening since McCain?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a different system altogether, and I'll be the first to admit, you know, I've been run out on a rail out of politics after 2003, so I just haven't bothered to keep up with it because it's not my world anymore. But it's much more strictly regulated, and it's all federal. It's all regulated by. There's no such thing as soft money necessarily anymore.
So do you, now in your book, you don't speak kindly of the Southernists or the Bushies or,
Yeah.
You have many different names for them, but is it their mindset about just anything goes, or could you explain that?
Well, initially it was their mindset towards, you know, Republicans like me from the Northeast. I mean, I'm a fiscally conservative, socially moderate Republican, kind of your model from New York, Connecticut,
Right.
New Jersey, so on and forth, parts of Pennsylvania. And the Southern Republicans are, you know, they're the snake handlers. You know, they're more ideological. They're certainly social and fiscally conservative. And so there wasn't a whole lot of tolerance in the caucus, at least from my perspective, when I worked on the Hill after the 1994 election. I came to Washington. I didn't see a lot of tolerance there. I saw mostly, we've won, we have a mandate, this is what we're going to do. And Northeast Republicans were kind of dismissed. I mean, they were dismissed as the past, you know, the Northeast establishment. Mm-hmm. And that was a shame because, frankly, you know, look what happened.
Yeah.
Look what happened when, I mean, to me, I've always run legislative campaigns. I've never really been an executive office guy. I've always kind of been on the legislative side of the campaigns. And so to me, it was just, you know, and I knew how hard it was to win a majority for Republicans, and to watch that majority basically be given away. You know, you watched Denny Hastert basically line up at the servants' entrance at the White House after Bush was elected, and more or less give away his majority. I mean, I just thought it was, yeah, a disservice. I thought it was a terrible thing. And so anyway, I mean, the point is, because of the social tolerance side of things, and even on the fiscal side of, you know, demanding pay-go legislation. Well, yeah, fine, cut taxes, but you also have to cut spending so it's in line, so you kind of everything zeroes out. There's a lot of, there wasn't a whole lot of tolerance for that type of thinking.
And you call the RNC and the Bushies liars a lot.
Well, you know, I mean, look, I mean, books are meant to entertain.
Yeah.
I was never a Bushy.
Yeah.
I just wasn't. To me, with all due respect, he is the President of the United States, and I respect that. But on the other hand, my opinion was I didn't see the level of accomplishment that I thought a president should have. And frankly, what I did see was something that I saw kind of when I was growing up as a kid, you know, living abroad or going to prep school and stuff, and that was a level of arrogance that I just wasn't comfortable with. Now, oddly enough, I went to go work for Steve Forbes, who's also the son of wealth. But to me, Steve Forbes is a different guy because he was a thinking guy, you know. He didn't just get handed something. I mean, he was, you know, he was an intellectual, and I respected that. But you know, they are somewhat similar.
But now you use the word criminal quite a bit too, talking about some of their actions and what their policies and how they use those policies to win elections.
Yeah. Well, again, getting back to the liars. I mean, to me, I've earned the right to say that, and the reason I've earned the right to say that is because they lied about me. You know, the lies about me were that I was a liar and I was a thief and I was a rogue and I was, you know, all of these things when they weren't true. I never talked about this case until my portion of it was done, until I pled, served my time, done all that stuff. You will not find, I defy anybody to find me giving a public statement. It's just not there. Never spoke to the press. And my opinion in the beginning was, hey, look, you know, you guys got to do what you got to do, and whatever, you're going to figure it out. And I won't say anything, but there's a point where I won't participate anymore. And that point was when it went from a political scandal to a criminal investigation. And so I sat back and I watched people accuse me of these things that I just mentioned, and so I've earned the right to be able to tell, label them liars because they lied. They lied about me. And to me, it was shocking. I mean, I worked at the RNC, not just once but twice. Once as a chief of staff to a co-chairman of the Republican National Committee, and then to watch them essentially spend $6 million, $3 million of it defending one of my co-conspirators, whose line of defense was that I was a liar. That certainly, changes your opinion. And so, so that's where that comes from, and it's well.